Season's greetings from the legendary villages of Sleepy Hollow and Tarrytown, two towns along the Hudson River in New York that share a rich history. Thanks to author Washington Irving, the chief spirit of this region is the Headless Horseman, with pumpkin in hand, which you can see all year round on the street signs. But these villages are not only for visiting at Halloween. Why no, the holidays in Sleepy Hollow country offer a step back in time with the ghosts of Christmas past.
Happy holidays from Sleepy Hollow
and Tarrytown. We are Jonas and Lindsay, your humble local guides, inviting you to join us for a Victorian Christmas village tour through Sleepy Hollow country. Alongside expert guests and local historians, we'll illuminate the spirit of the season.
You know, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol will take you from humbug to hope. Because if there is hope for the redemption of Scrooge, there's hope for us all.
Some of the holiday traditions here in Hudson Valley go back to the Dutch settlers who brought their own customs to old New York in the 1600s, including the legend of Santa Claus. And here in Sleepy Hollow you may just catch a glimpse of St. Nicholas riding through the town, though not always on a white horse, sometimes on a darker steed, perhaps even the horseman's horse. Christmas didn't become an official holiday in America until 1870, and Sleepy Hollow was officially incorporated in 1874 as North Tarrytown. The region is rich with Victorian-era historic landmarks, where we will step back in time and explore old Yuletide customs. Along the way, we will also give you an exclusive look at the ghosts of Christmas past, including the traditions and festivities that shape the holiday we know today. In the present year of 2024, Sleepy Hollow has been celebrating 150 years as a village, with festive events each month to commemorate, starting with a pumpkin drop in the new year and ending with a time capsule burial for the future of the village to uncover.
Happy 150th Sleepy Hollow!
So come with us as we walk through the chapters of history, experience the magic of Christmas in the present, and discover how we can keep the spirit of the season alive for generations to come. Welcome to our Victorian Christmas in Sleepy Hollow country, and meet the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and yet to come. Our tour begins with a look at the Christmas spirit of the Victorian era, which began in 1837 with Queen Victoria's reign. It is closely tied to Christmas because it was during this time that many modern traditions took shape. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert popularized the Christmas tree in the 1840s, and the royal celebration set trends across Britain. The Victorians turned Christmas into a festive, family-centered celebration, laying the foundation for many of the traditions we still follow today. Washington Irving, America's legendary author, laid the groundwork for Victorian Christmas traditions in his sketchbook, filled with short stories which contained the legend of Sleepy Hollow, first published in 1819-20. In his stories about Old Christmas, Irving wrote about festive Christmas traditions from merry old England. A memorable quote is, "Christmas is a season for kindling the fire, for hospitality in the hall, the genial flame of charity in the heart." Irving's ghostly tales and jolly depictions of Christmas helped shape the spirit of the holiday and influenced future writers like Charles Dickens to write A Christmas Carol in 1843 that also helped shape the holiday's focus on family, generosity, and goodwill. Irving also inspired a fellow New Yorker, Clement Clark Moore, whose famous poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, published in 1823, gave us the image of Santa Claus we know today, based in part of Irving's depiction of St. Nicholas. So we say like Irving, Christmas is here, merry old Christmas, gift-bearing Christmas, day of grand memories, king of the year.
Our tour takes us to the Grove Street Historic District. We have come to the Historical Society serving Sleepy Hollow and Tarrytown to learn more about the father of American literature and Christmas. As we enter the stately Jacob Odell House, built in 1848, we are greeted by carefully curated museum exhibits dedicated to preserving local village history.
Hi, we're here at the Historical Society serving Sleepy Hollow and Tarrytown with the Executive Director, Sarah Masha. We're so excited to talk about Christmas traditions.
Yes, welcome. Welcome, everybody. I have been a big fan of, obviously, Washington Irving and some of his Christmas traditions, because I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people consider that Washington Irving is sort of the father of the American Christmas, maybe. And here at the Historical Society, we do celebrate every year bringing out some of our Victorian decorations and other things to celebrate Christmas, possibly the way he celebrated Christmas.
I love that. The Victorian Christmas, or even a little pre-Victorian, right?
Yes, because obviously he actually was writing about Christmas traditions about 1808, 1809, 1810, and that time period was a little bit pre-Victorian. You know what? A lot of what he wrote about when he first started writing about Christmas was in New Amsterdam, where he supposedly was writing about. He wanted to bring some sort of joy and family traditions to the people that lived here. And so a lot of what he wrote about in, for example, his Salmagundi papers, which were a little journal, or in The History of New York by Diedrich Knickerbocker, he sort of pushed the idea that St. Nicholas was the patron saint of New Amsterdam, even called him Santa Claus. And with that, he wrote the tradition of, and I'm going to quote, so I'm going to read this because I don't want to misquote Washington Irving. The jolly old Dutchman named Santa Claus parked his wagon on rooftops and slid down chimneys with gifts for sleeping children on his feast day. And his book was actually even published on St. Nicholas Day in 1809. So there was that connection. And later on, other people took that idea and ran with it. Obviously, the whole idea of Santa Claus on the roof, especially.
Irving also influenced Charles Dickens, is that correct?
Oh, that is absolutely correct. So Irving, I don't know many of you know this, but actually lived in England for about 17 years and wrote a lot of his most famous stories while he was there. I think that Irving himself kind of felt like these traditions were disappearing and wanted to write about them before they left. And if he embellished them a little bit and made them a little bit more fun and a little bit more traditional, so shall we say, that was just his way of trying to make things stand the test of time. And so he wrote about these parties at Bracebridge Hall, etc., that Dickens chose to use for Mr. Fezziwig's party and things like that, and Fred's party as well. All the party games and things like that they were doing came almost straight out of that sort of idea that he had in Bracebridge Hall.
Wow, that's so interesting. And isn't it true that Dickens said he would always take Washington Irving up with him to bed? Isn't there a quote about keeping his book under his arm?
Under his arm,
Yeah.
yes. He actually, was one of the few that wasn't afraid to admit that another writer was his favorite. So it's actually fascinating because the whole idea of Christmas has become so ingrained in our society today.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it comes from those two writers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for Irving influencing Dickens, we wouldn't have our Victorian Christmas styles traditions that we have today.
I don't think so. I think it would be a lot more understated, if at all. Maybe a little less commercial, but
Right.
But honestly, I get my tree every year, and I do have Mr. Fezziwig's party at my house. So
Oh, that's lovely.
So there you go.
So who do you think is the man who really invented Christmas then?
I do believe it was Washington Irving.
Okay. Yeah, of course we do.
Yes.
Here in Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, right here in Tarrytown,
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow, it's definitely Washington Irving.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. That
You're
was
welcome.
so fascinating.
Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
I'm Michelle. I'm the secretary and a tour guide for the Historical Society. So happy to have you here in the parlor of the home. This is where we currently have our most recent exhibit, which celebrates Sleepy Hollow's sesquicentennial because it is a special year for Sleepy Hollow. 1874 was when Sleepy Hollow was incorporated as a village under the name North Tarrytown, and this exhibit celebrates 150 years since the village was incorporated. So it's kind of like a timeline. We start at 1874 and then we move around. We have some items from the 1920s and 1970s when Sleepy Hollow celebrated its centennial, and finally present day. Present day, we do so many fun things here at the Historical Society. So one of the Victorian traditions we embraced this holiday season during our holiday open house was ornament making. During Victorian times, people made their own ornaments, and we had a blast making ornaments here at the Historical Society. People chose different pictures and created with ribbon and string and bows and details and created their own ornaments.
You printed out the historical sites in Washington Irving.
We had to make it fun, and of course, speaking of fun, our standout favorite was absolutely Jonas's ornament. Hilarious.
Snowman Washington Irving.
So, it's really doing stuff like this, making ornaments. It's just a way you have fun, you create memories, and the togetherness, the spirit of the season. Exactly. So that's the type of thing we like to do here at the Historical Society. As a matter of fact, this tree, a lot of these ornaments were donated to the Historical Society by locals in the community. So in a way, there's a little piece of everybody here on this tree. It's special. So another way we're getting the community involved in Sleepy Hollow's sesquicentennial is with a time capsule, which is so exciting. Everyone from the community is coming together and bringing in different items that they would like to be buried in the time capsule. I know you and Jonas contributed something. Thank you for that. People are submitting artwork, photographs, letters. It's going to be opened in 25 years. December is also a special month for the village because December 17th, 1874 was the date the village officially incorporated, and that is the very same date we will be burying the time capsule. The time that it's being buried is not coincidental. December is a very special month for Sleepy Hollow. December 1996 was when Sleepy Hollow's name officially changed from North Tarrytown to Sleepy Hollow. There used to be a General Motors plant here in North Tarrytown. They manufactured cars, but when the General Motors plant closed in 1996, the village decided it'd be a nice idea to honor Sleepy Hollow's legendary past with its legendary name that Washington Irving loved so much.
So it's so interesting to think about what life in Sleepy Hollow will be like in 25 years when the time capsule is opened again. It's
yes. Oh, it's exciting. Well, I think one thing's for sure, people will still be reading and falling in love with Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It has been a timeless classic for over 200 years. But let us know what you think Sleepy Hollow will be like in 25 years in the comments below.
Yeah.
One of our favorite local traditions is attending the Historical Society's Holiday Open House, where like-minded history enthusiasts gather for cookies and crafting. We are inspired to try our hands at Victorian-style paper ornament making. We'd like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this episode and helping give us the tools to create. As we reflect on the year and look ahead, we realize one of the best gifts we can give is creativity and learning. We've been wanting to branch out in our crafting, and it can be intimidating to begin. But with Skillshare's incredible range of classes, we've been able to learn new creative skills like paper crafting, and we can't wait to learn bookbinding for beginners. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives, with thousands of classes across topics like baking, illustrating, DIY crafting, sewing, writing, and more. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced creator, you can go from dabbler to pro in just a few hours. What we love most is that all the classes are taught by industry experts who share their professional journeys, tools, and techniques so you can get personal insights and inspiration. From design to photography and productivity, Skillshare has classes for every creative pursuit. Plus, they have learning paths, curated sequential collections of classes that guide you from start to finish on mastering a specific skill. Pursue your passion projects and share the gift of learning with yourself and others. The first 500 people to use our link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So join today and unlock your creative potential. Let's continue our tour in search of the Christmas spirit through Sleepy Hollow country. This time heading to nearby Irvington, home to the elegant and iconic Armour-Stiner Octagon House, a National Historic Landmark. The Armour-Stiner Octagon House, built between 1859 and 1860 by financier Paul J. Armour, is a stunning example of mid-19th century architecture. Its design is based on the ideas of phrenologist Orson Squire Fowler, the author of The Octagon House, A Home for All Occasions. Fowler believed that 8-sided houses offer a more harmonious and effective living space, which certainly also lends itself well to the grandeur of a Victorian Christmas. Here, the ghosts of Christmas past come alive in Victorian splendor from the 1870s. This lyrical domed home is beautifully adorned with wreaths, garlands, and sparkling antique ornaments on several grand Christmas trees. While exploring the colorful history of this one-of-a-kind home, visitors will see stunning examples of antique holiday decor and learn how the late 19th century helped shape many of our modern American holiday traditions. The experience is sure to conjure a feeling of warmth and togetherness. The owners of this mystical home not only preserve its history, but also handcraft their own Victorian-style ornaments, available for purchase in the gift shop. We're so grateful the Lombardi family opened their doors to us for this special tour. Please note that this is a private residence and can be only accessed through guided tours. The next stop on our tour takes us to the Ghost of Christmas Present, alive and bustling at the 4th annual Winter Stroll between the villages of Sleepy Hollow and Tarrytown, and hosted by the local Chamber of Commerce. It's an evening of festive fun where you can stroll, shop, and be merry. Hop aboard the Jolly Trolley that shuttles between the villages, and you'll be treated to festive window displays, carolers, dancers, and unique shopping opportunities to find the perfect holiday gifts from local businesses. The event is always a delight as you run into friendly faces and chat with the local shop owners who make this community so special.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
The holiday spirit in Sleepy Hollow is alive not only for Christmas, but for Halloween too, with traces of both seasons woven throughout the villages. Where else can you send a letter to Santa next to a headless horseman pumpkin carving? It's so much fun to see the very same pumpkin carving that Jonas created for the village's Halloween celebration is now part of the Christmas cheer, blending the enchantment of two beloved holidays in the heart of Sleepy Hollow. Local restaurants also join the festivities, offering live music and special holiday menus. We always love to warm up at Horse Feathers, where it feels like coming home for the holidays. It's the perfect spot to cheer with cups of hot cocoa and enjoy the holiday magic with friends.
Cheers! For good times. For good times. Merry Christmas.
The next stop on our tour takes us to the hallowed grounds of the old Dutch church, where Washington Irving famously wrote that the headless horseman tethers his horse at night near the gravestones. During the Victorian era, telling Yuletide ghost stories was a common Christmas Eve tradition, and we're about to experience one ourselves. Join us for a spirited storytelling performance by master storyteller Jonathan Kruk, accompanied by musician Jim Keys.
It has been my experience that most people think they know all 12 days of Christmas. But go about 6 or 7, things fall apart pretty quickly. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. Oh, and you can sing. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
This captivating performance will certainly put you in the holiday spirit, and we are thrilled to have Jonathan here to share the timeless tale of keeping Christmas well.
I have endeavored in this little ghostly book to raise the ghost of an idea, which shall not put my readers out of humor with themselves, with each other, with the season, or with me. May it haunt their house pleasantly, and no one wish to lay it. Their faithful servant and friend, Charles Dickens, December 1843. Greetings all, Jonathan Kruk, Hudson Valley Storyteller, here with a little preface to a couple of Christmas stories. Washington Irving's Old Christmas inspired Charles Dickens to write his ghostly A Christmas Carol. I think also the Legend of Sleepy Hollow did that as well. Dickens got concerned. The ghosts might put people out of sorts. Thus he prefaced his story by saying, I hope this little ghostly book of mine doesn't put you out of sorts in any way, shape, or kind. Rather, he hoped that the ghosts would put people into the spirits of the season. And thus, I'll give to you a short rendition of A Christmas Carol. Jacob Marley was dead as a doornail. His sole friend and business partner, Ebenezer Scrooge, had seen to it all, but Scrooge wasn't dreadfully cut up over Marley's passing. Well, he did say Jacob Marley was a good man of business. Ebenezer Scrooge was hard as flint, but without a spark of warmth within him. Why, on Christmas Eve, he permitted the burning of but one piece of coal, and poor Bob Cratchit back there in the tank, copying away at the ledger, was freezing. When Scrooge's nephew Fred comes hallooing, Merry Christmas, Uncle Scrooge! May God save you! Why don't you join us for Christmas dinner? Bah, humbug! Was Scrooge's retort. When a pair of distinguished men of business came, hoping to collect a little bit of charity for those who wanted for even the most common of creature comforts, meat and warmth, Scrooge wondered, are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? And when the gentleman said, well, they can hardly provide the kind of Christian cheer one would hope to give at this festive time of year, and there are many who would rather die than go to those institutions, Scrooge said, well, if they should die, then let them die, and decrease the surplus population. A little lad trying to earn a coin, singing a carol, a Christmas carol through the keyhole. God rest ye merry gentlemen. Get away, get away! Got frightened off by Scrooge brandishing a ruler. And that night, when Scrooge got back to his his domicile and inserted the key into the lock, the door knocker bore the visage of Jacob Marley. So did the biblical scenes in his Dutch tiles. And right through his chamber door there passed and appeared the ghost of Jacob Marley. "What do you want, spirit? What do you want with me?" "Much. You will be visited by 3 spirits," explained the ghost, "and you can avoid my sad fate of being fettered in chain and forced to wander the world and see what I may have changed, but walked instead with my eyes downcast." The first ghost of Christmas past showed Scrooge when he was a young lad, abandoned during the Christmas holidays in that school. He got rescued, though, by his little sister, Fan. And when the spirit pointed out she died giving birth to her only child, Scrooge said, "My nephew Fred," and poked at his cheek. "Is that a tear upon thy cheek?" "No, it's a pimple." Scrooge also frowned when the spirit brought him to see the Christmas Eve dance at Fezziwig's. "Look at these silly folk," was essentially what he said. And then the spirit had to show him a young man, face lined with his avarice and Belle, saying, "A golden idol has come between us, Ebenezer Scrooge, and therefore I must release you from your promise." Scrooge's heart was so broken that old Scrooge tried to quell the light of the ghost of Christmas past. The ghost of Christmas present perhaps had better luck transforming Ebenezer Scrooge. It showed him the Cratchits preparing for their feast, and when the goose and the pudding were served, the Cratchits, why, they didn't say what Scrooge said. "What a meager feast to be served to such a large family." They said, "What a wondrous feast." And when they rose for a toast, Tiny Tim, the crippled lad, said, "And may God bless us, every one." Scrooge wished to have the little boy live, but the spirit said, "Well, if he should die, then let him get to it and decrease the surplus population." The good ghost sprinkled all with its torch, bringing smiles to those who had meager meals. And Scrooge even stayed a little bit when the good ghost brought him to nephew Fred's celebration. Scrooge wanted to play yes and no, but beneath the robes of the good ghost of Christmas present, Scrooge spied 2 wolfish, sunken-eyed, starveling children. "This one is want, this one ignorance," explained the good ghost. "Beware them both." "Well, have they no refuge?" "Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?" That ghost vanished, leaving Scrooge in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come, who showed Scrooge a scene of someone being mocked by distinguished men of business. "Why, I was afraid that old Scratch would even fear coming to snatch up the miserly likes of him. Well, the question is, gentlemen, who will go to mourn the miserly likes of him? Not I." Why, Scrooge's business partners perhaps were mocking him. His possessions were sold off in the eyes of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. "Look at this linen shirt. I stripped it off of him." "Left him naked for the undertaker?" "No, he put him in calico." "Ha ha ha ha! Well, I figured this nice linen shirt, it wasn't going to be needed on him. Why not where he's going? Likely to get it burned down there." The ghost of Christmas yet to come showed the Cratchits mourning their tiny Tim. Mrs. Cratchit said, "Our Tim was the essence of God." When the ghost of Christmas yet to come replied to Scrooge when he wondered what's to be the fate of this miserable miser, it pointed to a desolate grave bearing not the words "Merry Christmas," but Ebenezer Scrooge. Scrooge begged, "May I expunge this? May I take heed of the lessons brought to me by these ghosts?" And lo, he did. Why, he woke up Christmas morning, sent a fine turkey to the Cratchits. Tiny Tim did not die. Scrooge increased the salary of Bob Cratchit, and in the end, this is what they said of Ebenezer Scrooge. Though some laughed at the change in his heart, he cherished it, and they said, "Why, Ebenezer Scrooge, now there's a man who keeps Christmas well." And may we do the same by taking heed and heart of the blessing of Tiny Tim. May God bless us, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Our final stop takes us back to the village hall of Sleepy Hollow, where we reflect on the 2024 celebrations. From the New Year's pumpkin drop to the burial of the time capsule, these bookends mark the ghost of Christmas yet to come, preserving the spirit of this 150th year and keeping the holiday magic alive for future generations.
1874, a proactive group of citizens created our local government and incorporated the village of North Tarrytown, which was historically known, as we all know, Beekman Town. In 1996, we renamed our village to Sleepy Hollow. The name has long been since associated with this area in our village and was solidified by Washington Irving's American classic, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, in 1820. The name has its origin in the Dutch language, which means Sleepy Harbor or Sleepy Hollow. As you can tell, much has changed over the years in Sleepy Hollow. We've grown from about 2,500 people when we were founded to over 8,000 in 1940 to over 11,000 today. We have transformed ourselves multiple times. We've moved from an agricultural community to an automotive industrial powerhouse. We even paused during World War II to retool and support World War II by building aircraft wings and other support vehicles for the war effort. We then adapted again as our GM plant closed and we embraced Halloween. Our historic river town is built by generations of hardworking people and is truly unique with its long history. Natural beauty, diversity, inclusivity, and continues to be one of the best places to call home. Our year-long celebration of our 150th anniversary. 40 years ago, we'd be dropping a car. But today, we'll be doing a celebratory pumpkin drop on Beekman Avenue here and celebrate a fun symbol that begins as a connection between our history and our current status as a world-famous Halloween destination. Thank you, and we're looking forward to exciting monthly events that can commemorate, celebrate, and remember our history. Naming today, January 2nd, 2024, to be the Village of Sleepy Hollow Day in Westchester County. So thank you. All right, so now the fun time. We're gonna start this thing with a countdown. We're gonna go at a reasonable, even pace, starting at 10, and then we might even have a few unexpected visitors on our promenade.
The horseman's here! The horseman's here!
Alright, everyone, we're gonna start at 10. You ready? Yeah! Alright, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And have, thanks to Tim Church and for the painting, a 750-pound commemorative pumpkin!
Happy 150th Sleepy Hollow!
We wish for peace, prosperity, and happiness to you, the residents of Sleepy Hollow, our nation, and the world.
It's like a little bit of like opening a time capsule or a window to the past. Well, that is what they will be doing in 25 years, opening that window to the everyday lives of the people that live here today. Inside, there are artifacts that tell our story, the events of 2024 centennial year, letters from the community.
And so we end the 150th year in Sleepy Hollow with a hopeful view of the future yet to come, as we remember the past and embrace every moment of the present. Let us be like Scrooge, who transformed from miserly, bah, humbug, to boundless hope and echoed the words, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. May we carry that same spirit of charity, goodwill, and generosity not just during the holiday season, but throughout the entire year. On behalf of all of us here in Sleepy Hollow Country, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You know what? The horseman was here before and he told me to drop this off for you.
Was he with Santa Claus?
That's his secret.
You guys can go.
I was too slow. Okay. I made him go back in awkwardly.
It's rolling.
Okay, ready? Happy Sleepy Hollow. We're here at the. I already messed up.
That's fine.
There's a trumpet there. If
You want to blast?
it blows, I know you farted.
You tooted.
Women toots.
That's right, yes.
Men farts.
That's right, exactly.
I love that I'm already filming this.
Okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, that'll be the highlight reel. The blooper.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome to the parlor of the Historical Society.
What is gonna do?
A fashion show.
Yeah, oh!
My life is a fashion show.
Happy 150th.
You can count down or we don't know when to start.
Okay.
And if you order them now, you can get them at a discount. You know, just mentioned it's a charmed life.
Oh my gosh, you hit your face. Are you okay?
Some of the side effects are hope, joy, laughter.
Yeah. Ooh. Wow! So Santa Claus is real! Thank you, Santa!